Humans built homes inside a war before the battle even began. I still do not understand how that sentence can be true. I am Varek of the Hollow Tide. My people do not build. We drift. We borrow abandoned worlds until danger finds us. Then we leave. That is how intelligent life survives. Or so I believed. The galaxy agreed. Every child learns the first current. Never anchor yourself. Anything that stays in one place eventually dies. Humans violated that law. They called it civilization. We call it suicide. When the Devourer Fleet crossed the Eastern Rift, our colonies vanished in 11 rotations. No warnings. No negotiations. Only silence. Entire star systems stopped speaking. We fled. Of course we fled. That is what living creatures do. We abandoned cities before the enemy arrived. We left memories behind. We left monuments. We even left our dead. History can be rebuilt. Lives cannot. That was wisdom. Or so I believed. Our refugee convoy stretched across 2 light hours. Thousands of vessels. Millions of souls. Children floated in nutrient chambers. Elders shut down unnecessary organs to save energy. No one cried. Our species does not waste water. Ahead waited Earth, the youngest member of the Galactic Assembly. The strange predators from the impossible death world. No one wanted to ask them for help. Predators protect territory. They do not share it. Every biological model confirmed this. The Council still voted. 109 worlds approved. 1 voted against. Humanity. Not because they rejected us. Because the human representative said something none of us understood. I can't decide alone. Predators requesting permission from others? Ridiculous. Clearly their species had internal dominance rituals. Hours later the answer arrived. Earth accepts everyone. No conditions. No tribute. No repayment. I assumed the message was corrupted. No civilization opens its gates during war. Especially not to strangers. Especially not to prey. We entered Sol expecting hidden weapons. Instead, music. Our scanners detected millions of synchronized sound waves. Children waving from orbital habitats. Colored lights covering stations. The translation software struggled. Then it found the meaning. Welcome home. Home. We had not earned one. I concluded it was psychological warfare. Humans wanted us calm before harvesting us. That explanation fit biology. The alternative did not. The first human I met stood on Luna Station. She wore plain blue clothing. No armor. No visible weapon. Her body was fragile. 2 eyes. 2 arms. Soft skin. An inefficient design. She smiled. Every instinct screamed that she was displaying teeth before attacking. Instead, she offered food. We figured you were hungry. Hungry? She had prepared meals for species she had never met. Impossible. I refused. Naturally. Poison was the logical explanation. She laughed. Then she ate the same meal herself. Then another human tasted mine. Then a machine analyzed every molecule. Then they apologized because they were unsure whether the seasoning matched my biology. I reached only one conclusion. Humans were extraordinarily patient hunters. Days passed. No attacks. No traps. No demands. Construction ships filled Earth's orbit. Massive ones. Larger than military cruisers. We finally understood. They were building refugee habitats. Not temporary shelters. Permanent cities. Gardens. Schools. Medical centers. Places for species requiring methane. Places requiring ammonia. Places requiring crushing pressure. Entire ecosystems shaped for strangers. They spent impossible amounts of energy. Why? Nothing was requested in return. My people searched every contract. There had to be hidden ownership clauses. There were none. Only one sentence. If you're safe, that's enough. It made no evolutionary sense. I reported my findings to the assembly. Several delegates agreed with my analysis. Humans were preparing livestock. Others suspected religious rituals. One elder believed humans consumed gratitude. That seemed more believable than generosity. Then the first warning arrived. The Devourer Fleet changed direction. Toward Earth. Panic spread instantly. Of course it did. Our presence had doomed them. Refugee fleets always attract predators. That is why civilized species never accept them. The humans gathered us in enormous assembly halls. No alarm sounded. No one shouted. A gray-haired human addressed millions. "We know they're coming." Silence. We're not moving. Confusion rippled through every alien delegation. Not moving? The enemy exterminated civilizations older than stars. The logical response was evacuation. Every refugee knew that. Every survivor knew that. Run. Always run. Instead, humans accelerated construction. Families planted trees. Workers painted playgrounds. Artists covered walls with impossible colors. Children argued over games. Nothing changed. I concluded humanity had collectively lost sanity. There was no other explanation. Our military observers begged them to relocate civilians. Human admirals declined. Our diplomats insisted refugee stations be abandoned. Humans refused. Our scientists calculated survival probability. Less than 1%. The humans read the report. Then they requested more lumber. Lumber. Wood. Ancient plant material. During an extinction crisis. I believe translation software had failed again. It had not. A small human child handed me a carved wooden figure. It resembled me. Poorly. Its proportions were completely wrong. "I made you." "Why?" "So that you remember your family." Family. Again, that impossible word. We had shared nothing except fear. Yet humans repeated it endlessly. My translator defined family. The definition made even less sense. Days later, I visited one of the new settlements. Alien children from 23 species played together. Human children joined without hesitation. No territorial disputes. No dominance displays. No genetic prejudice. One tiny human tripped. 3 alien children immediately helped him stand. Then the human thanked them. Predators thanking prey. The universe itself seemed damaged. I noticed something else. Every settlement had thick underground foundations. Emergency power grids. Independent life support systems. Reinforced ceilings. Redundant communication arrays. Hidden medical bays. Humans smiled while building fortresses. I dismissed the observation. Surely they feared storms. Earth's weather is notoriously violent. That explained everything. Or so I believed. Then I accidentally entered a restricted orbital dock. Thousands of warships waited in perfect silence. Rows beyond counting. Old ships. New ships. Civilian vessels fitted with armor. Mining craft carrying weapons. Cargo haulers converted into carriers. Every available hull transformed into war. No broadcasts announced them. No celebrations. No speeches. Only preparation. A human officer noticed me. For a terrifying second, I expected arrest. Instead, he sighed. "I guess the surprise is ruined." Surprise? He activated the observation window. More fleets emerged from behind Earth's moon. Then from Mars. Then from hidden docks inside asteroids. Then from places our scanners had completely missed. The darkness itself seemed to manufacture warships. I finally understood. Humans had never ignored the approaching enemy. They had simply hidden their fear behind kindness. While we watched them build homes, they had quietly built the largest defensive fleet I had ever seen. And somehow, the homes had come first. Humans survived because they loved the future more than they feared death. That truth broke everything I believed. I stood beside the human officer as another fleet emerged from the darkness. My translator counted, then stopped. The numbers exceeded its military database. Impossible. No young civilization possessed this many ships. No rational civilization would. I turned toward the officer. "You knew." He nodded once. "We've known since your convoy crossed the border." I searched his face for panic. There was none. Only exhaustion. Only determination. I misunderstood that expression. I assumed humans had accepted extinction. I would later learn it meant something far more dangerous. Resolve. Across Earth's orbit, refugee habitats glowed like tiny stars. Gardens floated beneath transparent domes. Alien children laughed. Restaurants served foods from 47 worlds. Schools opened before the pain had dried. The humans continued celebrating. Music still echoed through the stations. I concluded it was a farewell ceremony. Their final attempt to remain emotionally stable before inevitable death. Then every screen changed. A single warning. Devourer Fleet entering Sol system. Silence swallowed the stations. No screams. No riots. No desperate launches. The humans simply stood, one by one. Every civilian. Every engineer. Every teacher. Every farmer. They looked toward the stars. Then they applauded. I stared in disbelief. They applauded the enemy. My translator insisted that was incorrect. It replayed the audio. The applause was real. Only later did I understand. They were not welcoming the invaders. They were encouraging their defenders. Thousands of warships accelerated, not away from Earth, toward the darkness. Predators usually defend food. Humans defended hope. The Devourer Fleet arrived like a black tide. Their ships blocked constellations. Gravity trembled. Light bent around their engines. Entire moons disappeared behind their formation. Our military commanders surrendered before the battle even began. They transmitted evacuation routes. No response came. The Devourers never negotiated. They consumed. That was all they had ever done. Then the human flagship transmitted one sentence. You will not touch our guests. Guests? Even now, facing annihilation, the Devourers answered with weapons. Stars vanished behind impossible beams. The first human line disappeared inside expanding fire. I recorded their destruction. I believed the battle had ended. Instead, the fire moved. Human ships emerged from the explosion. Scarred, burning, still advancing. My biological instincts rejected the image. Nothing survives that. Humans apparently disagreed. The second wave struck. Civilian freighters rammed enemy cruisers. Mining lasers sliced battleships apart. Construction vessels unfolded hidden missile batteries. Hospital ships rescued survivors while flying through active combat. Nothing followed military doctrine. Everything worked. The Devourers hesitated. For the first time in recorded history, they hesitated. I celebrated too early. Enemy reinforcements arrived. Hundreds, then thousands, then more. The black tide kept growing. Human casualties climbed beyond calculation. Entire squadrons vanished. Stations shook from distant impacts. Emergency lights flooded every habitat. I finally saw fear in human eyes. But something confused me. None of them ran. Not one. Every shuttle flew outward, toward the battle. Doctors, mechanics, volunteers, parents, even elderly civilians boarded transports carrying supplies. They entered the war willingly. No species behaves like that. Survival demands retreat. Humans ignored survival. Again, I thought I'd finally solve them. Their flaw was simple. They could not abandon each other. It was beautiful. It was foolish. It would destroy them. Then the shelters began opening. Massive underground vaults unlocked beneath every refugee city. Power surged. Hidden factories awakened. The reinforced foundations I had dismissed were not storm shelters. They were survival vaults. Entire hospitals descended beneath armored mountains. Food reserves could last decades. Water systems duplicated themselves. Independent reactors activated. The homes had never been ordinary homes. Humanity had built fortresses disguised as neighborhoods. Every refugee settlement became almost impossible to destroy. I finally understood why construction had mattered more than battleships. The humans had protected life before preparing for war. That realization frightened me more than the enemy fleet. The Devourers changed tactics. If they could not destroy the fleet, they would destroy Earth. Thousands of enemy vessels broke formation. They accelerated directly toward the planet. I expected human ships to intercept. There were too many. No defense could stop them all. The officer beside me whispered only one word. Now! Earth disappeared. Not exploded. Not destroyed. Disappeared. A shell of light wrapped around the planet. Space folded. Reality bent. Every refugee station vanished with it. My sensors failed instantly. The Sol system itself seemed empty. The Devourers overshot their target. Confusion spread through their formation. I believe humanity had sacrificed Earth. Another tragic act of irrational courage. Then a human scientist smiled. We moved it. I laughed. Not because it was funny. Because the statement was impossible. Planets cannot move. Star systems cannot hide. The scientist calmly corrected me. They can if you started preparing years ago. The shelters, the foundations, the reactors, the hidden infrastructure. None of it had been built after we arrived. Humanity had already prepared for the day someone would need protection. Not themselves. Someone else. The Devourers searched empty space. The home they wanted no longer existed. Their prey had vanished. For the first time in millions of years. The hunters looked lost. The human fleets attacked again. This time from every direction. The hidden defense network awakened. Asteroids split open into weapon platforms. Dormant satellites ignited. The moon itself revealed railguns buried beneath ancient craters. Mars launched fleets from beneath its deserts. Even peaceful research stations unfolded into battle fortresses. Every civilian structure had another purpose. Every act of kindness had been protected by unimaginable force. The Devourer command ship finally transmitted a message. Not a threat, not a demand, a question. Why protect strangers? No human leader answered. Instead, every refugee species did. Thousands of broadcasts, thousands of voices, mine among them, because they called us family. The Devourer Fleet retreated. History would record it as a tactical withdrawal. I know the truth. They fled, not from human weapons, not from hidden technology, not from impossible engineering. They fled because they discovered something more dangerous than any predator. A civilization willing to stake its own existence on people who could offer nothing in return. Centuries have passed since that day. Our children now speak human before they learn our ancestral language. Our worlds no longer drift. We build. We plant. We stay. Every new refugee who arrives at our borders hears the same words that once confused me. Welcome home. I finally understand them. Humans never broke the laws of survival. They rewrote them. And that is why humans built homes inside a war before the battle even began. The day we asked Earth for shelter, we believed humanity would give us a place to hide. Instead, they gave us a home worth fighting for. If you enjoyed this HFY story, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more epic sci-fi adventures. We'll see you in the next story.